Welcome to Tech Talk Central. I'm Nathan.
And I'm Sarah.
Today we're diving deep into a comparison we've seen requested quite a bit.
Yeah, it's the Hisense U8N versus the TCL QM7.
Exactly. Both of these really interesting, budget-friendly mini-LED TVs making waves in 2024.
And we're here to sort of unpack the key differences based on, the specs and what users are saying.
Our mission is basically to help you see which might fit your needs better without getting totally swamped by technical terms.
Right. Let's friggin' make sense of what all these features actually do.
Okay, so let's kick things off with the Hisense U8N. What really jumps out feature-wise?
Well, the big story seems to be their Mini-LED Pro Plus system. They're talking upwards of 2,000 local dimming zones.
2,000 plus, that's quite a number.
It really is. More zones generally mean, finer control over the backlight, better contrast, potentially deeper blacks next to bright highlights.
The less blooming, maybe. That halo effect you sometimes see.
That's the idea, yeah. And they're pairing that with up to 1,800 nits peak brightness.
Which is seriously bright.
Yeah.
Good for rooms with lots of windows, then.
Should be, yeah. Should make HDR content really pop, too.
Oh, what else is under the hood?
You got QLED quantum dot color. They claim over 1 billion shades. So good color volume.
Standard QLED stuff, but still important.
Right. And for gamers, this is interesting, a native 144 hertz refresh rate.
Oh, nice. Smooth motion.
Definitely. Plus Game Mode Pro, which includes variable refresh rate, VRR from 48 hertz all the way up to 144 hertz.
Helps with screen tearing, doesn't it?
Exactly. And it's got AMD FreeSync Premium Pro, auto low latency mode, basically ticks the main gaming boxes. There's even a new game bar overlay for quick settings tweaks.
Sound pretty comprehensive for gamers. What about movie watchers?
Well, you've got Dolby Vision IQ, which is smart because it adjusts the picture based on the room's lighting. Dolby Atmos for audio, IMAX enhanced support, and filmmaker mode to see movies, as intended.
And the sound system itself. They mentioned a 2.1.2 setup.
Yeah, 5 speakers, 50 watts, max power. So it has upward-firing drivers built in for that Atmos height effect. Interesting approach for integrated audio.
Okay, so that's the spec sheet. But what about people who actually, bought one? What's feedback like?
Generally, very positive on picture quality. Lots of praise for the contrast, the deep blacks. Some folks even compare it favorably to OLED, which is high praise indeed.
Wow, okay.
Value for money comes up a lot. Seems people feel they're getting a lot of TV for the price.
Makes sense.
The built-in speakers get decent marks too. Some mention a specific high concerto sound mode being good. Setup is apparently easy.
And gamers are happy with the refresh rate.
Seems so, yeah.
Yeah.
The 144 hertz gets mentioned. The brightness is definitely seen as a strong point, really helps those dark scenes. Color generally gets a thumbs up, especially the black levels.
Okay. And the Google TV interface.
Mostly positive, responsive, fast loading times mentioned by some.
Sounds pretty solid.
Yeah.
But there must be some downsides people have run into.
Of course, nothing's perfect. A few users found Hisense's take on Google TV could be a little sluggish sometimes.
Okay.
The Ethernet port is apparently capped at 100 megabits per second. Might matter if you have gigabit internet and prefer wired.
Yeah, that's a bit odd these days.
Some found the out-of-the-box colors a bit too saturated, needed tweaking.
Personal preference maybe, but noted.
There were occasional comments about brightness, maybe some inconsistencies depending on the scene or even screen size, like the 75-inch maybe behaving slightly differently, and a few reports of Wi-Fi connection issues on some units.
Okay, good to know. Right, let's switch gears. The TCL QM7. What are its headline features?
So the QM7, looking at the 55-inch model specifically, also uses QD Mini-LED, but they list up to 1,500 plus local dimming zones.
Okay, so still a lot, but fewer than the Hisense is claiming.
Correct. On paper, at least, they talk about QLED Ultra A for colors, aiming for nearly full DCI-P3 coverage, which is excellent.
And brightness on the TCL.
Claimed up to 1,500 nits peak brightness. So again, very bright, but slightly less than the U8N's claimed peak.
Got it. How about refresh rates in gaming on the QM7?
It's got 120 hertz native channel, but supports VRR up to 144 hertz.
Okay.
And TCL has this Game Accelerator 240 feature. They say it allows for up to 240 VRR gaming. It's likely using some form of interpolation or perhaps half-resolution trickery, but it's there.
Interesting. Might need more investigation on how that actually performs.
Definitely. It also has Otter Game Mode, AMD FreeSync Premium Pro, so again, well-equipped for gaming. Supports Dolby Vision IQ, HDR10 plus Sieve HDR10 HLG, Covers all the main HDR bases.
And the sound, that seems to be a focus for TCL here.
Yeah, they highlight the built-in Onkyo subwoofer. That's quite unusual for integrated TV audio. Plus Dolby Atmos support, of course. They're definitely aiming for a strong, out-of-the-box sound experience.
A built-in sub could make a real difference. Okay, so what are the QM7 buyers saying?
Again, really positive feedback overall. Picture quality is frequently described as amazing, crisp, sharp. Motion handling gets praised too good for sports, movies, gaming.
And the sound. Does the subwoofer deliver?
That's a huge standout in the feedback. People seem genuinely impressed with the built-in audio, amazing speakers, great bass. Comments like that are common.
So maybe an edge over the Hisense built-in sound.
Potentially, based purely on the enthusiasm in the user comments, yeah. Value is also mentioned frequently, like the U8N, easy setup, user-friendly Google TV interface.
Brightness good too.
Yep, excellent brightness. Some even say they had to turn it down. Clarity and the 4K picture are priced.
Any quirks with color?
A little bit mixed here. Some love the colors right away. Others felt they were a bit dull initially and needed adjusting in the settings. So, might require some tweaking depending on your taste.
Right. And any major drawbacks reported for the QM7?
The main one that seemed to pop up a few times was related to gaming. Some users reported certain game scenes appearing darker than expected.
Okay. Something specific to watch out for if you're a big gamer.
Could be. Yeah.
Okay, so let's put them side by side. Key takeaways.
All right. Brightness. Hisense claims higher peak nits, 1800 versus 1500 for the TCL.
Dimming zones. Hisense claims more, 2000 plus versus 1500 plus plens. Potentially better contrast control on the Hisense.
Audio. Both have Atmos. Hisense has that 2.1.2 speaker setup. TCL has the built-in Onkyo sub, which seems to be getting rave reviews from users.
Interesting trade-off there.
Gaming, both strong. Native 144 Hz on Hisense. TCL has the 120 Hz panel, but that Game Accelerator 240 feature, plus 144 Hz VRR. Pretty comparable feature sets otherwise, with VRR and ALM.
Smart platform. Both use Google TV. Some reports of slight lag on Hisense, maybe smoother on TCL. Hard to say definitively.
Warranty. This is clear-cut. Hisense offers a 2-year warranty. That's double the standard 1 year. We didn't see the TCL warranty explicitly mentioned in the sources we looked at, but 1 year is typical.
That's a decent bonus for Hisense.
Customer sentiment. Both generally very positive, great value. Hisense seems to get extra points for brightness and contrast, perhaps. TCL stands out for that integrated sound and maybe overall ease of use.
So boiling it all down for someone trying to choose, what's the thought process?
Well, if you absolutely want the brightest possible picture and potentially the best contrast ratio because of those extra dimming zones, the Hisense U8N looks like it might have the edge, at least on paper.
Right. Max impact for HDR movies, maybe.
Potentially, yeah. But if amazing sound straight out of the box is really important to you, and maybe you prefer a slightly smoother Google TV experience, the TCL QM7 is a really compelling option, especially with that Onkyo sub.
And for gamers.
It's pretty close, isn't it? Both have great specs. That TCL Game Accelerator 240 is intriguing, but the Hisense's native 144 Hz is solid. Gamers might need to dig into really specific reviews focusing on input lag and motion handling for their favorite games.
And you need to weigh those potential minor issues, right?
Yeah.
The possible slight lag on Hisense or the potential game darkening on the TCL. See, those sound like deal breakers for how you watch TV.
Exactly. It comes down to prioritizing.
Okay, so wrapping this up, it's clear both the Hisense U8N and the TCL QM7 are, well, really impressive TVs for the money in this mini-LED category.
Definitely strong contenders offering significant value.
Your final choice really depends on what you personally value most. Is it that peak brightness and maybe slightly better contrast? Or is it superior built-in sound and perhaps a super smooth interface?
No single right answer, just the right answer for you.
We really hope this deep dive has helped clarify things a bit.
Yeah, hopefully it gives you a better picture.
And hey, if you want to check out the latest prices or find deals on either of these TVs, definitely look at the links we've put in the description below.
And if this comparison was helpful, we'd love it if you'd subscribe to the channel, Tech Talk Central. We do lots more tech analysis like this.
Thanks for joining us.